Hey there and welcome to my YouTube channel. As a real estate broker serving Toronto and surrounding area, I have a privilege of meeting so many family and helping them making a smooth move to this vibrant city. If you and your family are considering making a move to Toronto, then you have come to the right place. In this video, I'm going to give you every single scoop of everything you need to know before making a decision to move to Toronto. My name is Kwali, and I've been having so many family like you making a smooth move to Toronto or any other city within the Greater Toronto area, and I absolutely love it. So, without further ado, let's dive into what you need to know before moving to Toronto. One of the drawbacks of living in Toronto is the high cost of living. The city is known for being one of the most expensive cities in Canada, with a cost of living that is significantly higher than the national average. This high cost of living is mainly driven by the city's expensive housing market, which is among the priciest in the country. According to the latest market report for March 2023, to own a detached house in Toronto, it would cost you more than $1.7 million, and then it costs you more than $730,000 if you want to buy a condo in downtown Toronto. In addition to housing, other expenses such as transportation, food, and entertainment are also relatively expensive in Toronto when compared to other Canadian cities. For instance, the cost of public transportation in Toronto is notably high, with a single ride ticket on the TTC costing $3.25 and a monthly pass priced at $156. Taxes in Toronto are also relatively high, with both sales tax and landfill tax being higher than any other Canadian city. According to number.com, the average monthly expense of a couple with rent in Toronto can vary widely depending on their lifestyle, spending habit, and the location and type of dwelling they choose. A modest lifestyle in Toronto would cost around $4,000 to $5,000 per month, with rent for a one-bedroom apartment in the city center costing around $2,300 per month. However, this budget will certainly increase when you have children. So overall, high cost of living in Toronto is a disadvantage for those who choose Toronto as home. So it's very important for you to consider all the expenses before making a move to Toronto. Next thing you should know more is about tax before moving to Toronto. Toronto is a bustling metropolis that is home to a considerable number of people in Canada. And as with any large city, its tax system plays a vital role in generating revenue for indispensable public service and program. The city levies various taxes such as property tax, sales tax, income tax, and it's necessary to understand how each of them operate. The City of Toronto relies heavily on property tax for revenue. Property owners are required to pay tax based on the value of their property each year. Interestingly, Toronto boasts a lowest property tax rate in the entire province of Ontario at 0.631933%. This means that homeowners in Toronto pay significantly lower property tax than their counterpart in other cities in Ontario. Adding sales tax to the total price of goods and service is a common government practice that takes place at the point of sale. Businesses are typically given responsibility with collecting this tax on behalf of the government and remitting it to Canada Revenue Agency. The federal and provincial government impose a harmonized sales tax, HST, in Ontario. The HST in Ontario is made up of 5% federal goods and service tax and an 8% provincial retail sales tax, for a total HST of 13%. Understand this regulation at both business and consumer in effectively managing their finance. Income tax is an intriguing topic because it is directly influenced by an individual earning. Essentially, the higher your income, the more tax you are likely to pay. Here are the income tax bracket for 2022. As you can see, there are two tables here indicating that in addition to paying federal tax, you must also pay provincial tax. Yet the Canadian government has diligently introduced an area of tax credit and deduction to alleviate the burden of income tax for Canadians. Tax credits are offered for various expenses such as donations made to charity, medical expenses, tuition fee paid, among others. These tax incentives showcase the government's commitment to reducing the tax liability of Canadian taxpayers, therefore allowing them to utilize their earning capacity to its fullest potential. Next thing you should know about Toronto is huge. East or west, you can only pick one. Getting across town takes a surprisingly long time. As many Torontonians will tell you, if your friend move across town, you will never see them again. Well, take a note that some street in Toronto can be very long, such as Yonge Street, 56 kilometers long, stretching from the Lake Ontario waterfront in downtown Toronto to Holland Landing, north of Newmarket. And then there's the Shepherd Avenue, approximately 25 kilometers long, running east and west through the northern part of the city. Steele Avenue, approximately 25 kilometers long, running east and west along the northern edge of the city. And then Finch Avenue, approximately 18 kilometers long, running east to west through the northern part of the city. Next is Lawrence Avenue, approximately 15 kilometers long, running east to west through the central part of the city. Therefore, if someone asks you to meet them at one of the street, make sure to ask them for the specific information such as the intersection, for example, Yonge and Bloor or Yonge and Shepherd. But on a positive note, seriously, it's one of the Canada's biggest city, and it's such a bustling metropolis city that full of, beautiful place to visit, an award-winning place to eat, amazing thing to do around the city. You will never be running out of things to do in Toronto, as there's always something happening around the city. Next thing you know about Toronto is the public transportation system, which go in hand with the size of the city. While walking and biking can be excellent choice for the local transportation within your neighborhood, but they may not be as convenient if you need to travel throughout the city. Well, thanks to the extensive public transportation system operated by the Toronto Transit Commission, you can easily get around the city. The Toronto Public Transportation System, also known as TTC, is one of the largest and most comprehensive public transit system in North America. It serves the residents of the city with a variety of options for getting around, including buses, streetcar, and subway. The TTC has an extensive network of routes and services that cover much of Toronto. They make it easy to get to almost any destination in the city, no matter where you are coming from. Also, the TTC is committed to provide accessible transportation for all riders, including those with mobility or other disability. All subway stations are equipped with elevator, and many buses and streetcars are also accessible. There are several TTC stations that also offer connection to GO Transit, which is a regional public transit that serves Greater Toronto area. While TTC provides many benefits to the rider, there are also some drawbacks that you should consider. During peak hour, the TTC can become very crowded with long wait time in packed buses, streetcar, and subway. That can be very uncomfortable and stressful for many riders. The TTC can experience a delay and service disruption due to a variety of factors including weather, construction, equipment failure. This can cause frustration and inconvenience for riders. Well, but despite this negative aspect, the TTC remains a crucial and beneficial part of the Toronto infrastructure as it enables the resident and visitor to navigate the city and enjoy the life of this vibrant city. If you have a family with young children moving to Toronto, it's very important to know that childcare is very expensive in Toronto. According to Mombio.com, the average monthly cost of a private full-day preschool or kindergarten for one child is around 1546 Canadian, though this cost can rise to as much as 2500 Canadian depending on the age of the child and the location of the center. In addition to being expensive, it can be challenging to secure a spot in a good daycare or preschool as waitlists are very common. Therefore, if you plan to make a move to Toronto, make sure to do a thorough research for the childcare option in the city and also secure your spot by putting your name down on the waitlist way in advance before you make a move. You should know more about healthcare system and finding a doctor in Toronto. In Canada in general, access to healthcare is considered a basic right for all citizens. The country prides itself on providing universal healthcare coverage that is publicly funded and free at the point of service. Aside from that, Toronto is home for excellent hospitals such as Sunnybrook Health Science Centre, St. Michael Hospital, the Hospital for Sick Children called SickKid, and the Mount Sinai Hospital, and Toronto East General Hospital to name a few. However, most of the time, the wait time for various patients for their turn can be really long, and this can be frustrating, especially for non-emergency procedure or seeing a specialist. Also, it takes time to find a family doctor. Finding a family doctor in Toronto can be a challenge for a newcomer as there is a shortage of primary care physicians in the city, especially the good one. The length of time it takes to find a family doctor can vary depending on factors such as the individual location, health need, and the availability of the doctor in their area. In some cases, it may be possible to find a family doctor relatively quickly through programs such as Healthcare Connect, which is a service that helps connect Ontarians with a family doctor or nurse practitioner who is accepting new patients. However, this program does not guarantee immediate placement, and wait time can vary depending on the demand for doctor in the area. While in other cases, newcomer may need to rely on walk-in clinic or urgent care center for their health need until they are able to find a family doctor. This can be a temporary solution, but might not provide the same level of continuity of care as having a regular family doctor. So despite having a great healthcare system and many great hospitals in the city, it also can be challenging to find a great family doctor. So it's very recommended to start finding your family doctor as soon as you arrive in Toronto, and also ask for the referral from family, friend, co-worker or neighbor who knows their own family doctor that's still accepting new patients. Next thing that you should know more about before making a move to Toronto is the weather. Toronto experiences 4 distinct seasons. Winter can be cold and snowy, while summer can be hot and humid. Make sure you have the appropriate clothing for each season. So summer in Toronto run from June to August. During the summer months, temperature in Toronto typically range from mid-20s to the low 30s degrees Celsius. Humidity level can be quite high, making it even hotter. Thunderstorms are quite common during the summer months and can sometimes be severe. Toronto also experiences occasional heat wave, which can be dangerous for vulnerable populations such as elderly or those with pre-existing health conditions. Fall season in Toronto runs from September to November. It's generally mild and pleasant, with temperature cooling down gradually from the summer months. September can still feel quite warm, with temperature in the mid-20s Celsius on average. By November, temperature have typically dropped to around freezing and snow is not uncommon. Winter in Toronto runs from December to February. Toronto winters are cold and snowy, with temperature often dropping below freezing. Average daytime temperature in January, which is normally the coldest month, hover around -4 Celsius. Snowstorms are common and snow can accumulate quickly, causing travel disruption. The city has an extensive system of snow removal and salting system, so sidewalk and road are generally kept clear. Spring in Toronto runs from March till May, can be very unpredictable with fluctuating temperature and occasionally snowfall even in March or April. However, as the weather warms up, the city comes alive with flower and greenery. Temperature can range from around freezing in March to the mid-teens Celsius by May. So overall, weather in Toronto can vary greatly by season, but in general, it's cold in the winter and warm in the summer, and there's a lot of activity to do around the city in both summer or winter. During the winter season, moving around the street might be hard. However, there's a whole section of the city that is underground. It might seem futuristic, but underneath the city is a 19-kilometer long network of corridor and store make up Toronto's famous pass system. Not only it is a cool and shopping experience, but the pass system is an important part of Toronto transportation infrastructure, providing a convenient and safe way for people to move around the city. It is particularly useful during the winter month when the weather can be extremely cold and snowy outside. And again, in the summer, there's a lot of activity, adventure to explore around the city of Toronto. Make sure to check our video Things to Do in Toronto for the list of things that you can do and enjoy with your family. Next thing you should know before making a move to Toronto is the culture. Toronto is a multicultural city and you can expect to encounter a diverse range of people and experiences. Toronto is known for being one of the most multicultural cities in the world. People from all over the world have come to Toronto to live, work, and study, and as a result, the city is home to a diverse array of cultures, languages, and religions. Toronto multiculturalism is reflected in its neighborhood, festival, and cuisine. For example, the neighborhood of Chinatown is home to many Chinese restaurants, shops, and businesses, while the neighborhood of Little Italy is known for its Italian restaurant and cultural event. The annual Caribbean Carnival, which takes place in Toronto every summer, is a celebration of the Caribbean culture that draws thousands of people from all over the city and beyond. Toronto multiculturalism has helped to create a vibrant and inclusive community that celebrates the diversity of its residents. With that being said, it is very important to be respectful of different culture, custom, and religion while living in Toronto. So before moving to Toronto, make sure you do your homework and choose a neighborhood that fits your lifestyle, your culture, and preferences, as each neighborhood has its own personality and characteristic. Next is job market. Toronto is regarded as the central hub for business and culture in Canada, hosting a diverse range of industries such as finance, technology, and media. Over the recent years, the Greater Toronto Area has established itself as one of the most sought-after tech markets in the world. The job market in Toronto is vibrant and offers many opportunities for job seekers. With a diverse range of industry and high salary, Toronto is a great place to launch or grow your career. However, with competition for job being high, it's important to have the right skill and experience to stand out from other candidates. Also, in some cases, newcomers may find that their education and qualifications are not recognized in Canada. This can be especially true for certain professionals such as doctor, nurse, and engineer or teachers. Re-credentialing can be time-consuming and expensive process, which may delay or complicate job search. So if you're considering making a move to Toronto or looking for the new job in the city, make sure to research the job search process thoroughly because it might be different from your own city or your own country. Also, make sure to search for the vacancy or salary range of your industry before committing to the move. Yup, as what I have mentioned, Toronto is a bustling hub of culture, which can also mean entertainment. From music to theater to film and sport, there's no shortage of entertainment options in this vibrant city. Toronto is the home to one of the largest theater scenes in North America. The city theater scene is particularly known for its world-class production, including Broadway hit and original Canadian work. Venues range from the historic Royal Alexander Theatre to the more modern Ed Mervis. Toronto is a major player in the film industry with numerous production films in the city each year. The Toronto International Film Festival, which is called TIFF, one of the largest film festivals in the world, is held annually in September and attracts both industry professionals and film enthusiasts from around the world. The city is also home to a number of independent cinemas, including the TIFF Bell Lightbox, which showcase both new release and classic films, and at the Hot Dog Ted Rogers Cinema, which specializes in documentary. Toronto is a sport-crazy city with professional teams in basketball, hockey, baseball, and soccer, such as Toronto Raptors, Toronto Maple Leafs, Toronto Blue Jays, and Toronto FC. Toronto entertainment scene is diverse and exciting with something for everyone. Whether you're into music, theater, film, or sport, the city offers world-class entertainment options. So if you're looking for a city that never sleeps and always has something going on, Toronto is the perfect place to be. No matter the season, Toronto offers a wide range of activity and events to enjoy throughout the year. Spring boasts the Hot Dog Festival, while summer features the Beach International Jazz Festival, the CNE, Taste of the Danforth, Bright Toronto, and numerous other festivals. In the fall, Toronto is home to Toronto International Festival, New Blancs, and the Royal Agricultural Winter Fair. Even in the winter month, Toronto has plenty to offer with events like Toronto Light Festival, Toronto Black Film Festival, Winter Licious, which is a food festival, and Cavalcade of Light, and much more. So there now you have it, 10 most important things that you and your family should know about before making a move to Toronto. Aside from that, we also put together a video that weighs the pro and con of living in Toronto, so make sure to check that out as well. So we do hope that this insight will help you prepare well for your move to this vibrant city, and also you will be able to make the most out of everything that this city has to offer. So if you find this video helpful, make sure to give it a thumbs up and also share with a family or friend whom also planning to make a move to Toronto. And also don't forget to hit the subscribe button or push the notification bell so you don't miss every time the video like this are released. Also, share with me in the comment section below of any other topic that you would like me to cover in the next video. Be great, and I see you in the next video.